He's actually going heavy towards long with it this time. Simple boomage, Molotov off of this angle, so it means Art will actually be really far up on long here before they even get a chance to go. They were actually taking pretty short control on the CT side as well, which resulted in a good trade. And Art actually took down Simple as well, so that long pressure that was coming through, not surprising we saw that battle go the way it did. Art got such a good amount of map control.
Ooh. Ooh, okay. Flamey. Suspecting Vinny's location, fires off a few of the warning shots. Zeus is there as well. Boomich is done for. So they need to try and commit together. Spam from Zeus is incredibly awkward. It won't even hit. Gets a little bit of a tag off at the end there towards Queserato, but that is it. It's a consolation prize. 7-6 now, as this half is looking to be pretty darn close, Ben.
Yeah, Na'Vi are still able to get buys in as well. So on the side of things for Furia, I mean, they're evolving a lot around Art's AWP being able to get a kill or two whenever they leave him there. Because they'd be completely different if he doesn't get the kill right there on Simple. The A side's left kind of hampered. He then gets another one on Boomich as well. It's just the amount of impact like he attracts, or creates rather, on the map. And the attention he creates by just being a presence like this. He's actually going to be out with the door there.
Oh,
that's a beautiful kill.
Yeah, that was absolutely tasty. Art with a quick flick around finds the headshot towards the Electronic. That's already a hefty bit of impact into the game. They want to try and at least make this a 7-7. And then see where it goes from there. But Na'Vi, they're not slowing down. They're storming their way up long at this point. They're going to carry on advancing.
It all depends on the timing. Yuri just checked it. He'll need to check again in like 3 seconds. Might be too late. Just as he turned, but Queserato's also moved up here as well. Puts smoke down, that's quite clearly coming from quite close.
Oh,
he gets the kill anyway.
Last bullet, the fade away from Queserato on the headshot on Simple. Flamey will trade it, but it's still wild that it even happened. The flashbangs across back towards the site as well.
Oh
and
Art,
he's in the rear. He's entirely in the back. Oh, he runs out of his knife out, both of them, with their knives exposed. Gets the tag on towards Boomich, brings it down to 36 HP. Flamey will find him.
Awkward round though. There's no really telling where the CTs should be on the map right now, from the Na'Vi side of things. That smoker going to heaven. Vinny, he advances straight into Zeus's crosshair though. Able J 1v3. They need this round really. The money's not great for them. There's only 20 seconds left as well. If he manages to get into pit, he could potentially win the round, but I don't think it's possible if he doesn't get out.
Zeus moving forward there, gets spotted by Able J, but he isn't going to be able to win that one. The 8th round secured in the end by Na'Vi. It started off fairly one-sided. It looked like it was only going to get better from that point for Furia. The backstab could have been so huge as well, but Art wasn't given the chance to paint himself a masterpiece. Instead gets thrown away, and that will go towards Na'Vi. Last round of the first half here now. Buys coming back through for Furia. It's a bit of a Famus buy, really. That's basically all they've got to work with. Famuses and smokes, Ben.
Again, look at the range of kills on Na'Vi. 9-13. It's a very close-knit level of kills across the board right there for them. Oh my, this is some different kind of aggression. We've not seen this from Art yet. Electronic, though, has basically done everything he needs to. Oh, that was decent damage as well. They're going to just leave Art there. That's actually a really nice play. So that Furia will have the chance here to just leave 4 players playing A. The only risk they have is Connector is not controlled.
Yeah, and there is a player in towards Connector as well with Flamey.
Art's actually advancing. Electronic is playing so deep as well. He's playing by the club bunny.
Sat there by the bunny club.
Yeah.
Oh, they're actually walking in towards the long stack as well. Everyone's going to peek out. Now they should get the read. They have to try and get off and go over towards the B site. But you know what? Simple could just kill him as well, as he gets the pick back onto Queserato. Vinny's done for, and it's literally just Able J that remains.
Just getting blinded as he retreats as well. 1v4.
Just wandering around, really, at this point. Trying to see what they're up to, what shenanigans that Na'Vi can be bringing out. Electronic spots him, will get the headshot towards Electronic, follow-up frag as well on Zeus. But he's so low, 14 HP, trades out to another Famus. Simple will end his life with the Deagle, and it will go 9-6. More to come though. Is this going to be another 2-0, or will we see a return to form from Furia? Find out after the break. And we are back. 9-6 is the scoreline. Na'Vi currently the ones leading versus Furia. But we're slapped back into it, Ben. Where we'll see if Na'Vi are going to be able to take this as a 2-0, winning it on both Nuke and Overpass, or if Furia still have some fight left in them.
Yeah, I've just been looking at the stats on the side thing. Like it's not as overhyping Art's impact on the game, like as a just generalization anyway. But he was literally involved in 66% of the opening duels of that half. Like he got 6 opening kills, 4 opening deaths. A player alone having that much of an impact anyway, is kind of outrageous. Whether it's positive or negative, it's just a case of he is the impact. Boomich. If they were to have opened that door at any point, that'd been scary for him.
That would have been rough.
So Na'Vi running no kit here. So it's going to be 5 armoured players, which could be difficult if they do result in a post-plant.
Oh, hello. Oh, simple. Showing just how easy it can be. As he gets himself the first frag on towards Vinny. Electronic as well. Wants a piece of the pie. As they are popping off with these pistols, Ben. The prowess is on full display.
Another little dink there as well. A lot of fights taken to them. This route does win one of them. What kind of pie are they actually trying to get a slice of then? Would you say it's a bit of a chicken, bacon, leek and asparagus pie?
Potentially, or, you know, some pumpkin pie.
Oh, pumpkin pie, yeah.
Pumpkin pie is always quite standard.
Yeah.
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie, of course.
Classic. Probably the best of the pies.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. That is probably up there as the top dog.
On the ESL Global Pie Rankings.
Yes. Everybody is ranked 3.1415.
Oh. Round 17. Zeus with a Molotov early. This actually could have a pretty impactful influence into the round. It does transfer an awful lot of fire damage onto each and every one of those Furia players, but Simple is there, ready to put them all to bed as he walks into all 3 of them. Finally got the Zeus kill.
There it is.
Well, that was a shock.
Oh. Simple destroy this round. He actually gets himself money for an AWP next round as well. They will know that this will be a buy round for Furia. If he wants the AWP, he can get it, and that he will. It's the AWP already coming out for him. 19 kills for Simple now.
Yeah.
Padding the stats towards the end of the half there, actually kind of extending a lead for himself.
Starting to get back into his form a little bit, realizing that he needs to really be the backbone of this Na'Vi team as per. Art, though, unfortunately not able to afford an AWP, is just delegated back down to the Krieg. Looks like he still wants to try and take the fight towards Simple, though, but Electronic goes straight in. Gets the first kill on towards Art. Yuri will trade it back. They're a little bit panicked about this. Incredible nade, though, as it transfers that damage back onto both of them. And they're actually going to retreat because of this as well. Bombs left down just outside by the Bunny Club. And they're already through Monster. Quesarato is walking in towards this B site. It's up to Flamey now with the AUG.
It is literally just Flamey on this site. He thought about smoking towards short as well. That smoke coming onto site though. Molotov towards Monsters, a bit too late as you mentioned, they're already out.
Maybe. Won't spot it. Quesarato with the adjustment across with the AK. He's going to be able to cut his head clean off.
What?
Boomich denies the bomb plant, throws them now into such an incredible position where they actually do have a lead once again. Zeus playing around, toying with them. Boomich is still just spamming into the smoke and taking people down to the Nether Realm.
Oh no,
oh no,
Zeus.
The nade. Oh, actually didn't do anywhere near as much damage as it looked like.
They're kind of stuck on this site though. There's a battle on both ends. Boomich is doing so much.
He's just winning each and every fight that was thrown against him. Simple as well. He's been spotted with the shadow, but Yuri had to reload, had no ammo there. He's got to get the bomb. He's got to make a play. He's got 27 seconds left to do so versus Simple and Zeus. Zeus sprinting across, keeping him busy. Gets the kill, upgrades to a Krieg for free, and they win the round. And they don't lose the AWP on Simple as well.
The way Zeus is running around in that 2v1, it kind of like makes you think there's some sort of like PTSD in the background where they've died when they've gone in a 2v1 in a similar position and the guy sprayed both of them in the same thing and he's just gone, I'm going to create distance.
Yeah, I'm going to get away.
Gone. Yeah. He's just gone shooting, not even shooting at him, just walls around him, just like, look at me. I'm over this way. Boomich now has an XM in again. He didn't quite get anything done with it last time, did he?
No, but what
it's
can
going
he
to be
actually achieve this time? They should actually be coming towards him. Boomich could do an awful lot with this. Oh, the short bite down. Gets one with a shotty. Smashing his way through him as he breaks down the doors. The walls of Jericho are falling. The walls of Boomich.
Oh my word.
He's still trying to get the knives off. He's running to the smoke. Oh, he's going for it!
There was a flash thrown for him to actually get that kill.
The speed of him as well.
He could have thrown the knife at him for 1 damage, of course. That would have got the kill.
Of course, of course.
Didn't have the perk enabled.
Didn't have it on. Didn't have it on. Ooh, no. Well, Electronic survives with that 1 hit point. Actually gets through the round. Na'Vi, they're actually starting to trailblaze ahead. This is what we potentially expected to see over on Nuke when we got into the second half. Except this time it's actually happened. They've got themselves a big lead, 13-6. Furia reinvests as they have cash to play with. Is this going to be a, well, potentially a 15-6 scoreline if Furia lose this round, or do they actually have some fight left in them now?
Not too sure. I suppose it depends on what the play is from them. Looks like 3 players toward mid, 1 of them potentially doing connector instead. In fact, it's actually double connector. So from the first gun round, Na'Vi were playing 3 towards A primarily, with Zeus in connector, simple mid, Electronic with him. However, we haven't really seen too much contact on the A side of things so far. They're going straight for this boost as well. It's a really nice boost. Boomich with an AWP close range this time. Gets the Molotov out. They're already out monster though.
Ooh.
Doesn't land a second.
Misses that shot, Ben, and now they've actually been able to get their way up in towards the bomb site. Simple is there, luckily enough. Simple! That should have been a free kill for him. The follow-up doesn't even come out either. Zeus is overthrown instantly in close range. Simple just running in headstrong there, throws it away, and it just comes down to Electronic, the backstabber himself. He's in the rear, but does he actually have the gear to win this one? Spot out Vinny. Oh, Vinny in the angle. Actually, he's not looking there. Electronic should be able to at least get 1 kill to walk away with here.
For a second, you could just see the slow debate. It's like, how do I want to do this?
Yeah.
Just wants to see if he can do any more damage.
Oh, 8 HP.
Decent damage, but shouldn't change too much. Yuri should be able to get away from that bomb. Still took 3 damage. Yeah. Didn't get quite that far. That is a round for Furia though, and you can argue a lot of that coming through due to Boomich not quite being able to pull back properly, as well as that the AWP. Bit of a difficult one. We don't have really anybody supporting you on that bomb site. Furia do go for a pause as well. I imagine that's to do with the fact that Vinny needs a drop, as well as that. Just thinking, what do we want to do different here? Because that round they showed no presence towards A, other than putting the Molotov out that simple through. That was Yuri. He just put the smoke down, he flashed mid once, and then he backed away. They went towards B. Question is, will they actually commit to that, or will they just try and feign the same idea in that sense? If the Molotov gets thrown again, Simple does have the money for the grenades, so he can do that again. But relying on them to make something, or make a play, isn't really the best way of looking at things like this.
Well, 5 seconds as we get back into this now. Freeze time is over, ready to rock and roll. Round 21, Na'Vi, they need to do some damage. They need to carry on with that form they found. Furia, though, waking up a little bit off the back of the prior one. Is this their new foot coming down forward? Because already it's a little bit more split, actually going for the attack towards B. The Pincer play together. They're all grouped up quite heavily. It's a bit more defensive.
They're doing the Astralis speed take. Pretty sure that was meant to be the Astralis speed take. The smokes landing all the way along the bridge. They're running all the way through it to CT.
Oh, okay, Serato gets through first. He's been able to actually get up close and personal, but they're taking so much damage.
Boomich is there as well.
When they eventually get out, they're just running straight into them. It's worked out better for the CTs more than anything. Serato is just left on 12 HP. With the backline, it's all of the backstab. If you could actually get the follow-up frag, it could have gone incredibly for them. Instead, it's left into a 3 versus 3 here from this point forward.
Simple does have a Molotov. Okay, the Molotov will come through. It's going to be too late. That bomb will... He's missed.
He's missed?
He's absolutely whacked it off that pillar.
Oh, a follow Mips as well with the AWP. He needs to hit that shot. Simple. Up close and personal now. A further miss. Doesn't connect the shot towards Yuri. Luckily, his teammate finally has a bit of an impact as well. Tagging on towards Able J. Zeus jumps down. Simple finds one. Gets the follow-up frag. It's all up to Vinny.
And he gets the
Vinny
first.
no longer survives.
He missed so many shots.
There were so
many
misses.
But he lands the last 3. That's all that matters. That's a different strategy. I've never seen. So it was the same position where you throw the smokes for the Astralis take, where you smoke deep CT twice,
Right.
and then you run across the bridge and kill the pit players. They've alternated that and then just basically made a wall across bridge towards that CT area. You run through it, or you get through the smokes, and they reflash for you, and I guess you just take pit, and you kill the players that are playing pillar, monster, barrels, that whole area. It's a very different take on it, but I'm not surprised that they're the ones to come out with it after what we saw in Mirage yesterday.
Yeah, similar to obviously the B execute we saw there, where it was literally just Art running through a wall of smokes that they created for him. So interesting stuff. Simple, however, more fired up now with the AWP back in his hands, feeling like he's found his form again. Gets that kill onto Yuri, and opens things up nicely for the side of Na'Vi.
Yeah, very nice opening kill to find. Art is actually holding for a peek. Not quite that one, but he still gets it anyway. The thing is, typically when you lose an AWP towards long, you see some kind of re-aggression on the same area, but Zeus is actually just going to do it towards toilet instead. Ooh. Keeps taking the fight though.
Yeah, he's heavily committed into this. The flashbang should actually delay them slightly as well. Depends if they think if he's actually ran away or not. I should at least hear something more, but Boomic, he's in the background. He's got the bomb. They're also fairly low at this point. He's been able to flick back and forth. 2 kills there for Boomic. A final killing blow for Flamey. And the 15th round secured for Na'Vi. 1 round away from a 2-0 here in the series and carrying on that lower bracket crawl.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, they're kind of proving that this is their pick, right? This is where they felt more comfortable anyway. But it's just the fact that when you consider the last 3 months, the form really doesn't really tell you that they're that good on it. Yesterday was maybe the showing of them getting better on it, right? So 15-7, a lot of time to play with here, a lot of match points, series points. On the side of Furia, though, they would be quite disappointed if they were to fall out into this far or this early. Okay, Serato wanting to stop that, though.
Not actually agreeing with the idea of letting it go that way. Gets 1 kill on the entry. There is a response back. They have a 2-man lead in the battle of attrition over Na'Vi right now, but Simple is still alive with the AWP, and that nade does a hefty amount of damage as well. They are actually backing off from this. They're going to reposition.
The bomb.
Electronic, he can deny the whole play. Vinny with the MP5 again.
That's a whiff and a half from Electronic there. Yuri's already at this bomb site.
Or Flamey, does he realise he's right in front of it towards the truck? He doesn't spot him out. Forces it for a clutch for Simple. He might get a nice shot off on towards Art, but that's just one for style points. It won't be for the round.
Electronic had basically the entire series right there in his hands. He gets that 1 kill on the bomber. He can then, he can back off. He can make a lot of different plays there. But instead, the spray goes completely wrong. So Na'Vi actually buying into this as well. Boomic has the AWP, which is a bit of an interesting. He's the only player going towards B as well.
Everyone else is actually pushing down towards Connector early on as well, trying to play around off Zeus's Mag 7, it seems.
Flamey is really tempting fate here. Does nade deeper. Boomic, who had the AWP, doesn't quite get anything done.
No, Boomic achieves nothing there. That's an AWP down just on the floor. That's B site completely open as well, and they've realised this. Molotov comes in, that's going to force them out of position where they are towards Connector. Expecting the spread, just watching it scared.
Get a bit toasty. Thing is, from the side of Na'Vi, they don't really... There's nothing they can do that will help them too much here, other than just staying alive. If you're able to get towards the gun, which Simple has done right there, that's an SG recovered. But otherwise, the only player that can really look for something, I guess, would be Electronic. Just because equipment that matters is the Kevlar. Pistols are, the 5.7 it's great and everything, but it's not really that much of a loss. However, thankfully he's not hunting too far because Yuri is actually holding the angle of where he would push into. So Furia, it's a big hill to climb if they want to make this comeback happen. They need 6 rounds in a row on the T side. And the issue with overpass is you have some rounds where a defender will usually get 2 kills or more. It happens quite often, just in the sense that sometimes you don't clear something properly or they just get a very good positional play.
Yeah. Well, Na'Vi, they've got a few match points to play with, so they're not going to be too worried about how this one is going so far. The weapons they have carried over from that prior round, they've still got to work with here as well. They're going to try and use these once again. Krieg and Mag 7 really going to be the two big dogs. Flamey has a HE that he'll try and cast out.
It's that same Molotov. Electronic, pretty much repeating the toaster room. However, Na'Vi, they opted for that boost, I believe, putting Simple up on top with his SG. With the Molotov at highway, though, that is the call that they're going to pull back. Yuri's already making this information play up long as well. Simple's going to arrive just in time, although they're going for another boost. This might be at the very wrong time, depending on where they go. Oh, my word.
Ooh, okay. This all just depends on who's actually there as well, because Yuri, he's up close. He's actually walking around. If they don't expect this and clear down towards bottom side of bank, they can get shot.
They're making a lot of noise. That noise, that jump made noise. Oh my word.
Oh, the double kill.
I'm surprised he didn't try and knife one of them.
They would have just both fallen into him.
Yeah, he could have like double left and then right.
Yeah.
Kill both of them in a second. That'd be a wild play though. Ooh. That's where it does spot Flamey.
Electronic with the backstab with the 5-7, eventually gets that kill, but runs straight into his own demise. As Kesara will put one right between the eyes. 15-10 now. Furia, at least somewhat coming back into this and being able to keep themselves going toe-to-toe. It's only a matter of time then until Na'Vi get out a healthy buy and start working their way back into the action. Simple's been hitting a few nice shots with the AWP here and there.
Furia do go for a tactical though.
Interesting.
I mean, I suppose when you do have these tacticals at your disposal and you're not really sure 100% on what you want to actually get done, you might as well take the time to actually talk about it properly. This is technically series point. You've been sat on for quite a while here. You might as well just make sure, what is our game plan, what are we doing? I want to know exactly, just in case somebody messes it up or anything like that. So 15-10. Furia, they've had decent buys the whole way through. Na'Vi, unless Electronic drops an AWP, they will not have one for this round. I can't imagine he'll drop an AWP anyway, just because he doesn't have, it'd just be a glass cannon. And at that rate, you might as well have him using it, just so he's able to just utilise the fact he has no armour. So it's going to be rifles across the board. Boomich taking the hit though and go for the FAMAS. Flamey and Zeus not so much. Ooh.
Well, the run boost.
That is very cheeky. They're doubling up connector there. That's 2 spawn smokes been used by Furia. So those are the Cloud9 spawn smokes, which usually mean they're going to be rushing B, which is why you see all the grenades being used by Na'Vi. But alongside that, we can see the 2 players running up long. There's still a player going through connector. It's quite late though. Electronic loses that fight as well, 10 HP.
Kesarato barely surviving, but at least he is still in action. Zeus as well, brought down to just 24, so...
I think that was by Flamey.
Really?
Yep, pretty sure it was by Flamey. Zeus opened the door and Flamey just battered him.
Oh, okay. That's not ideal.
It's not great.
Yeah, it's not really how you want to play it. So Zeus and Simple are now left in a 2 versus 5, make that just a 1 versus 5. And Zeus has basically no health points at all. He's basically dead at this point. So 24 HP, he's going to walk away. Save that. This is going to be an 11 to 15 game. They're still bringing it back. Furia are starting to get some momentum for themselves, Ben.
Yeah, so clearly the pause there was to talk about what we're actually doing. Who's doing what smokes? So the Cloud9 rush I mentioned is basically where you do spawn smokes. One of them lands in heaven, one of them actually lands towards bridge or side. I'm not too sure exactly which one. I believe it is bridge though. And then you just cause a B rush with Molotov barrels. You get players going through short. And it's just a nice B take from the get-go though, right from spawn. All those grenades coming over, as well as flashes, Molotovs, were enough to cause Na'Vi to dedicate 3 players there. And they already had 2 players in connector, which meant the A side had nobody going long, nobody on the actual side. And by the time the players faking B were on their way back, they win that firefight connector. Flamey's then left in there as well. He then destroys Zeus. Zeus then saves. 4 more match points available for Na'Vi before they would be forced into an overtime scenario.
Well, let's see if these next 4 rounds count. As they reinvest around Zeus, he's the only one that has the rifle to work with. He's got armor as well. Flash and a smoke. 1 HE there over on Flamey. The rest of them just with the pistols to play with. This early contact will be coming through towards the front toilets, and also close long as well. Yuri seems to be the one that wants to risk it. Oh, a lovely shot. Crisp stuff there to connect that back on towards Flamey early.
With losing a player there, though, you usually see some sort of long aggression, especially if you've got players there. If Zeus advances, he walks straight into Art's crosser. Art's been holding there for about 25 seconds now. If Zeus holds for another 20 seconds, I'd be very surprised. So Art's actually... he's kind of half and half pulled away and then come back to it. But he'll hear the movement at mid. Now's the time for him to strike if he can.
Setting themselves up. Smokes and flashes going across. The execution over towards the A site. Electronic with a 5-7. How much of a nuisance can he be? Backstab from Boomich. Wants to grab the AWP as well. Electronic gets one on the site. But unfortunately, Boomich has also gone down. It's up to Simple and Zeus. Zeus is done for. Simple runs straight through, connects onto one, nearly the follow-up. He gets the tag onto Case Serato. It looked like he was going to make history again. But
that
it was
would
not
have been
meant
wild.
to be. Yeah.
I'm really surprised he got that shot onto the player towards SWAT as well. Furia used their final tactical. 15-12, I believe it was 15-7 at one point. So 5 rounds have been won in a row by Furia here. Some of them going down to much closer situations like that. But all in all, they seem to be doing quite well. And the big change here is Art picking up a rifle instead of the AWP coming out of this pause. So we've seen him AWPing primarily the last few rounds. But clearly he's realised there hasn't been enough impact from that.
However, talk of the AWPs. Yeah, Flamey and Simple both on an AWP. And the 2 AUGs as well. So 4 scopes coming out for Na'Vi.
It's the first time we've seen Flamey using the AWP on this map, isn't it? Because Boomich was the one that picked it up the last 2 times. I'm pretty sure it's the second AWP at least. But regardless, it means it will be towards the B side of the map, although, yeah, it would be. Because Boomich was normally towards short. Flamey's been controlling towards Monster, which it looks like that AWP will be going towards. Very passive, though. So 3 players, actually make it 4 players going through connector for Furia. Quite an unorthodox one. You can't help but imagine AbleJ will flash them out at the top of it. Unless they do and don't try and go for the picks here. Looks like 3 of them are about to. This could be really awkward timing. Oh my word.
Oh, jump spot across.
3 of them.
Oh, he gets the kill. Picks the head clean off of Zeus. Smoke's coming out towards front toilets now as well, so Electronic's going to be a bit isolated. At least he's hearing the footsteps, the pitter-patter, everyone sprinting by him. He needs to relay this information to his team, though. Simple. Going to adjust. Electronic wins the firefight in response versus Case Serato. Gets the kill through. Simple down and out over at long. Every person they lose, the chances of Na'Vi winning this round get lower and lower. It's Furia in a prime time position to close it out now. They're calling it quits.
Boomich and Flamey, they stopped rotating. They ran towards the CT underpass, like the stairs, and they turned around immediately. So Electronic's going to try and grab Simple's AWP, I think, on the way out here. They're going to keep the double rifle. They're going to buy next. And if they lose that one, they'll buy then at 15-14. So this will go 15-13 anyway. They'll have 3 guns minimum if they keep them in. Furia should be furiously hunting this. Especially on the fact that Simple's AWP is that long. They should know that.
And they've also got an awful lot of money to play with.
Yeah, there's no risk for them. You can keep 1 player on the bomb. That's fine. That's bold from Electronic just standing in the middle of the and as that smoke faded. But keeping 2 guns in, though, you probably shouldn't force around it. Like, look at the money. 15-13.
Yeah, it's bad.
You might as well get pistol armor on the players that did die. And then buy on the 15-14 with a whole lot of money. That should be the situation here. Na'Vi call a pause to talk about it. They've still got 2 more pauses available to them. Can't ever feel like, unless there's some sort of crazy play coming out from Flamey with the AWP or Boomich, that it would be going to 15-14. That's assuming they do eco, of course.
Yeah, it would have to be just sheer miraculous individual brilliance that saves it. Someone just goes sick out of nowhere, and that means they actually take it through with a 16-13. But it feels more likely they probably will with that 14th round. The buy-up's actually coming in, so Zeus has gone in for
but
basically
everybody else
everything.
is going to go pistol armor, I guess. Simple, he needs to keep in mind, you get 3,400. So 6950 would get him an AWP, Kevlar, pretty much every grenade. and that'll be about it. So
50-50 armor.
oh, he's actually gonna be. He doesn't mind having just the AWP armor and then like a smoke,
Yeah.
apparently, or just a flash or something.
I suppose that's just what they've opted
Yeah,
to
it's
go
preference,
for.
I suppose. You have a higher chance of winning when you do have more players with armor. That's for sure.
Well.
Furia making their way towards the site with the guns, though.
Oh, they're running straight in, actually, towards this B site. They've been able to get their way out for sure instantly. 2 frags already found. Zeus, can he have some impact with this MP9? Gliding around, all of a sudden he's the only one that remains. Everyone's dead rapidly there. 1 minute and 29 seconds into the round, and it's already over.
Literally seconds. Like, from the first kill to the last kill is probably about 9 seconds,
Yeah.
I guess. So that here's the buy I mentioned. So Zeus could have had so much more here if he didn't spend so much on... Like, I wouldn't mind if it was the MP5 and Kevlar, like a flash or just a smoke with it. Because that's not much, that's like $2,200. Instead he invested the full, like, 37, I think he had. So simple, as I said, he'll have the armor and basically a single grenade. They actually missed the Molotov that's been landing them as well. Scary situation for Na'Vi. They were up 15-7 at one point. Now at 15-14. They've let the game slip away from them. I'm trying to think how long it's actually been since Simple got killed last round, but before that, I'm trying to think. I think it's been quite a while. Other than the 1v attempt, the 1v3 attempt with the Eagle.
Yeah, that was a awkward round. They're going for a fairly
It's the
similar
same thing,
play,
yeah.
though. Yeah, this is once again towards the A
Electronics
side.
so early there.
Oh, the difference is Electronic this time goes headstrong, finds 3 kills, wants to set it in stone that they're going to be able to take this one. Simple as well. Last time, he was obliterated. This time, he does the obliteration. Finds the kill back onto Kesarato. It's all up to Able J. He's not able to do it. 16-14. They finally close down the game and take the series in a 2-0 fashion. They did it on Nuke. They've done it on Overpass. Na'Vi will carry on here at ESL 1 Cologne. However, for Furia, Ben, this is the end of their journey.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, all things considered, right? They lost to NLG in day 1. They then beat Renegades 2-0, which a very good result. To lose to Na'Vi is not the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, their own pick, they were quite disappointing. 16-11, it wasn't quite as good. Like the first half, they had such a big deficit. Going to this map, they made a great comeback, but you know the fact they had to make the comeback as well is pretty much their second best map, based on the stats at least. So all things considered, not a bad tournament. But it just shows how stacked the event is, though. That you know, it's not actually a bad result to be finishing 9th to 12th at this event.
No, by no means, because it purely is just everyone. It's the best of the best when it comes down to the CS hunt we actually have available to us right now, and they're all here. They've all been turning up, and we've seen that time and time again throughout today. Just the fact that Furia have actually been able to bring it back and keep it that close from the scoreline we originally were at is still even itself a pretty good achievement for them.
Yeah, as well as that, like thinking, you know, before the actual video came through, I was saying I was quite surprised that Na'Vi picked Overpass.
Yeah.
We saw the true strength of Na'Vi right there at times, right? They were 15-7 up at one point. They were pretty much in position to probably win, like 16-8, 16-9, that sort of scoreline. And it just shows, though, even though they've only had the 9 maps played in the last 3 months, the fact that they've got 33% win rate is not true. Like, that's not how good they are on the map. They are much better than that. It's just a case of they've played such good teams, whereas Furia, their 22 games that they played on it, it will not be the same opposition as the Na'Vi, like Liquid, you know, like Astralis, all these teams. They'll be playing teams on that tier 2, 3 area where they'll be winning those games because they are good. It's just when you face Na'Vi, it's not quite the same.
No, by no means. The benchmarks there are very different, obviously. It actually does overall affect things. We do have the final stats, though, for the overall series there between the two sides. And I think for once, really, it's actually Simple being towards the bottom of the pack, which is a bit of a surprise. Obviously, a bit of a major impact towards the end of Overpass. Definitely woke up an awful lot there. Fairly quiet on Nuke. I don't think we really saw much. No,
Nuke was, I think he had 16 kills, 14 deaths. Like, it was very much a game where he didn't have to do much.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, like, these tables, technically, they're listed by ADR, so even though he had more kills than Zeus, the ADR was still there. Zeus was getting involved in more ways than just kills, right? He was at ramp, especially on Nuke, for example, he was throwing that grenade pretty much every time, doing about 30-40 damage, and then he'd do some damage after that as well. Whereas Simple, outside just wasn't a place for Furia.
No, they didn't go there.
It just wasn't a place, and then on the T side, AWPing, it's difficult.
Yeah, that's very true. It was one of those who wasn't really tested as much on the first map. When he was tested towards the end of the second, he did bring it back and show that he can still obviously offer an awful lot of firepower. Overall, though, Na'Vi just looking like the better team really when it came down to it in a few of those instances. It was still a ridiculously close affair. That's the one major aspect, though. The fact that they did end in a 16-14 and could have been a different storyline or at least an overtime. Between these two sides, that's still a good showing there from Furia, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for them to go out this event disheartened or anything like that. It's just like on the day we showed up. Well, we started quite late.
Yeah.
It's in like a nuke. It was 10-2 down. So like, it just it's put it in perspective. That's what you just consider in the back of me. And just like, okay, it went like that. It's whatever. We'll just move on. We'll do better the next tournament.
Yeah. Well, we do have all the results, of course, for today's games, with the win over MIBR there for Big at first, where they walked up. Move your lips, Ben. That would look like you're talking. With the win there for, of course, Mouse Sports as well. No, don't do it to me. Leave it on Ben, and then Ben moves his lips, and then it will look like he's talking. All right, here we go. And of course, at the end of the day, the 0-2 there with Na'Vi walking away with a win versus Furia. That was it. Kind of synced up.
The Na'Vi.
Yeah, it kind of synced.
Yeah.
We almost did it. We almost did it. Of course, on the A stream as well, they had a much quicker day as they bombarded their way through. It was a 2-1 with Vitality getting the win over Ents. Obviously, a sad affair for Ents, the team that was on top of the world, now starting to slip away from things, Ben. So they need to have the resurgence, the return events, possibly coming back at another later stage. 2-0 for Astralis to be expected, really. Obviously, the Danish Demolition Squad trying to find themselves back to full force. And then finally, a 2-0 for NiP over Heroic. That's actually more of an interesting one.
Yeah, because that's Plopsky now playing for Nike as well.
Yes.
So that's the big thing there. Obviously, get right, this technically could be his last ever Cologne event for him as well. So he'll want to go out with a big hurrah because this has been the staple event every year, pretty much CSGO. And he'll remember winning it back in, what was 2015-16? Yeah. And that'll be one of the big things for him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he was actually able to return to form and get himself another win there, obviously at the Cologne stage, it would be probably a dream for them. But not sure if we'll see that. However, there is still a chance for them to carry on moving, as we do have the bracket. This is how things are looking over on the upper side of the bracket for Group A. As you can see, Team Liquid versus NRG moving through there. That's one of the matchups we will be having. That's actually, that's kind of a spicy one. That's the North American sort of derby, really.
And that is technically NRG's first event with Stanislaw as well as the other thing to consider. So that's, obviously last week in Pro League they still had DAPS and they performed very well. They got to the semi-finals, that was great. But then, you got to be thinking, they were still pracking with Stanislaw whilst that entire time. Which is kind of crazy to think, really. But across the board, like, FaZe dropping out the same place as Furia, that's another thing Furia can take on board. Like, it's not just... the caliber of teams eliminated 13th to 16th. We saw Ents go out 13th to 16th. That's the number 3 team in the world, technically. It's just a stacked event. It's, there's no other way about it.
No, there's not really much you can do about that one. And of course here as well for the Group B upper bracket, you can see Astralis versus Ninjas in Pajamas, meaning that NiP, they're really going to have to fight for their money at that point.
Well, I mean, they've guaranteed the stage. That's the big thing, right? Because that's technically a new lineup in the sense that they've changed stuff. Yeah. But it's, for that, they were just thinking, we'll just get experience for Plopsky. We'll then Get Right gets to have that stage day as well, just in case things do change post the major, of course, which it does look like that is going to be the case. Yeah.
And finally, for the Group B lower bracket, of course, as things move on, we have the 2 teams set in stone there off the back of that, as Heroic found their win, and they'll be facing off versus Big, and then Fnatic versus Team Vitality, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to build the 13th to 16th placements, you've got MVP, and then you've got MIBR and Ents joining them, technically. Yeah. So Furia, they've still finished above them as well.
That's still, when you think about that as the actual overall placement that they've taken, it's pretty darn wild.
Just crazy. It really, because we've had, 4 teams already confirmed to the stage so far. The lower bracket battle is such a gruesome one. It's such a long battle as well. If you go the full 3 maps each time, it's a mental fortitude battle as well as a in-game prowess situation. Yeah,
being able to maintain that same level of skill over the entire time can be a stressful one. We do have, of course, the schedule as well for tomorrow. The A-stream schedule up first, so we see it's going to be Heroic versus Big starting us off. What are your thoughts on that one?
It's a bit of an interesting. Obviously, Big are trying to fight for that spot in front of their home crowd again.
Yeah, they want to be on stage.
Last year, making the finals, as well as the other thing. Na'Vi, we didn't mention it. They're technically the reigning champions too. Yeah. Because they beat Na'Vi last year. What was it? 3-0 actually.
I think it was.
I think it was a sweep, wasn't it? But nevertheless, they know that this crowd. They all know how good it is to play in the Cathedral of Counter-Strike, as it were. And it's just a case of battling for that. But you can't help but feel like one of those matchups is a bit more lopsided in terms of quality.
Yeah.
Right? Mousesports Na'Vi is a, let's say a AAA game, whereas Heroic Big is still AA, like that sort of area.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference.
Oh yeah, the Mousesports Na'Vi game should actually really pack a punch getting into that. Meanwhile, though, on the B stream, the games we're going to be broadcasting start off with Fnatic versus Vitality. It's a fairly interesting one to start us off with. That's actually could be a bit of a tasty affair. I wouldn't be too surprised.
Fnatic, they're actually not as bad. Like, it's weird because the lineup, they're very topsy-turvy.
Yeah.
One event will be really good, the other event will be really bad. The next one, you'll be then confused, like, what do I expect? So you're not really sure what to expect here. Vitality, obviously, dropping into the lower bracket to begin with. Quite surprised then they beat Ents today. It was a close battle. But I'm wondering how far can they go as well, is the other thing.
Yeah, how long can they actually keep themselves alive? After that, Liquid versus NRG. And then finally, of course, Ninjas in Pyjamas versus Astralis, Ben. So we might actually get to see a little bit of that Get Right magic coming through at the end of tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, they can guarantee themselves a spot in the semi-final as well, which, that's a crazy feat for them, if it were to be.
Yeah, well, there's only one way they'd be able to achieve that, though, and of course is the victory over Team Liquid, so we'll have to find out if that comes through over Astralis even. Still, both teams that are incredibly hard to beat,
both,
so pretty interchangeable when it comes down to it. But it looks like that is everything for today here on the ESL 1 Cologne B stream. We are pretty much wrapped up. Of course, we still have one more day of the B stream to go as we round out which teams are going to be going to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike and who is going to be going back home. We'll find out tomorrow. It's the same time, same place. We'll be kicking it off with Dinko and Hawker taking you through the action. We'll see you there.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why we play, right?
Oh, it's a lovely sound in my ears, Alex. It's a lovely sound.
Who thinks that the North American Counter-Strike scene is back?
Chicago, make some noise for Team America.
This is their chance to grab a trophy on home soil.
Taco waits below it, though. Taco waits below it, and he holds! That's absolutely sensational!
Think he can't clutch through a smoke while recording in full resolution and streaming the play to the world? Watch this.
Counter-terrorists win.
Think he can't get famous in a flash? Like become your own meme famous? Watch this. Think he's been there, done that? With Intel Core i7, he's just getting started. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
have what it takes? Sign up now for the Vodafone 5G ESL Mobile Open. Qualify for the grand final at Milan Games Week.
This is Game Fuel. It's domination in a can. Oh, tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
So this is it. This is where it all started. The great business of DHL.
Do you remember when we still use these?
We have all come a long way since then.
Hey, Effie, my little buddy. I got a special job for you. And this is only the beginning.
I've been there since the beginning. Every map, every frag, every moment. I run, but I never hide. With knowledge comes power, and power is to be wielded wisely. Which is why, as the expert, I bet with Betway. If you know CSGO, then you'll know the best way to bet on esports is with Betway, for the love of the game.